So rain kilts, are they ridiculous or are they ingenious? So my last video was all about rain gear, specifically the rain gear I bring backpacking. I asked you guys to put down in the comments what you guys take hiking and backpacking, and I really enjoyed going through all the comments. I actually haven't responded to any of them yet, but I did go through and read them all, and I want to go over a few of them right now. Just a few good rain tip pointers that should be included in any rain gear video. So we're going to talk about rain gear, we're going to talk about rain kilts, so let's get right into it. So it seems like a lot of people are wearing frog togs out there on the trail. I briefly mentioned frog togs as a good option. They're definitely lightweight, they're definitely on the cheaper realm of rain gear. I think the only downside of frog togs is that they're like super baggy. I wore frog tog rain pants for like my second backpacking trip and I sweated so bad, hence why I cut the legs off and made shorts out of them. I've never had the frog tog rain jacket, but it seems like a viable option. It seems like a lot of people are using those. Poncho tarp also came up in the comments. It can be pitched with trekking poles for shade slash wind cover as part of a shelter system, which is kind of nice. You can use it as a tarp, you can use it as a poncho. I've never had a poncho tarp before, but it's definitely one of those things that I would like to try out one of these days. Jason says, this video got me thinking about old school pullover rain ponchos. Never see those, but they seem like a good option for breathability. I actually see those quite often when I'm hiking out in the rain. I see a lot of people backpack with these, and I'm talking about like the really small, like clear plastic, just super cheap rain ponchos you get at like Drug Mart or Walmart or whatever. They have a lot of advantages. They pack down really small. They take up no space in your pack. If it doesn't rain, they're super cheap, so it doesn't matter if you rip it, if you want to throw it away after you use it, whatever. And they're so big, I see a lot of people that wear them like over top of their pack. They just pull it right over top of their pack and their upper body. And Thomas Ryan added to that, he said, shoulder straps aren't pressing on the rain gear, which makes it wet out, so when you pull your poncho over, it's not, your straps are then underneath it. Essentially everything's underneath it. A lot of people on here are kind of agreeing with me that the nitrile or nitril, I'm not sure how to say that word, gloves work for them. A couple people said that they put them over top of like fleece gloves for added warmth. We got Luke Noose on here, the Luke Noose monster. He uses Vasquez Gore-Tex boots, it looks like, and Venom Steel nitrile gloves, which those are actually the exact gloves that I showed you in my last video, because this is my buddy, this is the guy that gave them to me. He also wears a wool packer hat. Now wool is something that is also worth mentioning in a rain gear video. Although it's not waterproof in any way, wool is probably the best fabric for insulating when you're wet. A lot of different fabrics lose all like heat retention ability. Although it is heavier and a little bit bulkier, it is better in like a survival situation. It's a lot more popular with a lot of outdoor enthusiasts that aren't necessarily into like weight conscious backpacking, like fishing, bushcrafting, hunting, because you can get it wet and it will still retain heat. You can get smaller, lighter wool layers, merino wool, a lot of backpackers go to. How about an umbrella? Great ventilation and partial coverage. Ultralight rain poncho and umbrella. Mark Douglas outside says, great review and opinions on rain gear. What are your thoughts on using umbrellas while backpacking? So I have never used an umbrella, so I can't really, weigh too heavily on one side of, using it or not. But I will say, I think it's a great option. Umbrellas are obviously a really good way to stay dry. Me personally, I carry trekking poles when I hike, and I also carry a lot of camera gear too. I might have like a tripod or just a camera in my hand. If I were to hike a trail that didn't have a lot of elevation, I wasn't going to use trekking poles and I wasn't going to film, an umbrella would be a great option. Now, I'm not talking about just your average umbrella. There are a lot of backpacking companies that actually make like ultralight umbrellas. And I've seen people, they hook them like on their backpack strap or hook them on the backpack. So it's kind of like a hands-free umbrella, which is actually really cool. I mean, it might look kind of funny out there, but as far as functionality goes, umbrellas are definitely a smart way to keep dry out there, I think. Jeremiah Stringer, I want pit zips. Even though he was completely soaked through his 20-mile days in the rain on the Vermont Long Trail, he said the rain jacket kept him warm. And that brings me to another comment on here, talking about waterproof versus breathability. He kind of sees it like I do, where you can't really have something fully waterproof and have it breathe like at all. But to sum it up at the end here, he says, in real world conditions for an active hiker, a rain shell of any kind is valuable for keeping you warm and not dry. Basically, you're going to always kind of be sweating in something that's super waterproof, and that sweat will then warm up and you'll be dry, rather than if you don't have a shell on at all and all your layers get soaked, you're just constantly getting that wet, cold, icy water on you. Tim Shepard brought up a really good comment about waterproof socks. He suggested that if you know it's going to rain or you're going to do like several water crossings and get wet, that just bring your waterproof socks and use them as camp socks only. He says that way you can put your feet back in your wet shoes and walk around camp with toasty dry feet. Also good as camp socks in the snow is they hold a lot of heat. So they are thicker, and as they're like not kind of breathable, they probably would hold a lot of heat. That's a really good idea, because when you're just walking around camp, you're not gonna like, you know, sweat a whole lot. So I think waterproof socks would be great as like a camp sock. So that's a good option. I've never really heard that one before. Kilt the hike. It's a kilt, not a skirt. Oh, they're triggered. Kilt team's on me. We all look like morons out there with tights and weird shoes. A kilt really makes no difference. That's the truth of it, isn't it? But he also says they're also a multi-use piece of gear and can be used as a ground sheet to sit on or place gear on, or even a tiny overhead tarp in emergency. Now that is a really good point. That really kind of appeals to me there. I love gear that has like multiple uses and can be used for different things. Like all my clothes I put in a stuff sack and they become my pillow, so I don't bring like a pillow per se. But having like a ground sheet to sit down, or a rain kilt in that matter, to put all your gear on in the morning when you're packing up to keep everything dry, that's a really good idea. And I haven't really thought about that before, because rain kilts, I'm not positive on this, so don't quote me, but I think they're just like a long sheet that kind of, you pull it around and you snap it in the front, so you can lay it out flat and have like a good area of dry space. So I really like that. Actually, the Helinox Chair Zero that I bring backpacking a lot, other than sitting on it, my second favorite thing to use that chair for is I sit it up in the morning when I'm packing up camp, pile all my gear on that chair to keep it off of the ground, keep it off of the moisture before I pack everything into my backpack. And I've really found that is like super convenient. So if I didn't have a chair and I had a kilt, I would probably use it for that reason all the time. So with rain kilts, honestly, I just like bashing them for fun, just like fanny packs. Like I'm not on the fanny pack train either. I think we're gonna have to make a fanny pack video, but it's really just for fun. You know, I really have nothing against rain kilts. Like, they're light. The Dyneema ones, anything Dyneema is awesome in my book. They're light, they're functional. Like Paul said, they're multi-use. Good coverage. They're quick and easy. You don't have to put your feet in them like my shorts. You just wrap it around you and go. So really quick, efficient. Rain kilts are really a no-brainer. But for me personally, I don't know. I'm just not jumping on the skirt train. I just don't care. I'd rather take the 2 seconds to pull my leg through a short to be covered, and that's, I don't know. That's just my preference. There is a massive difference between a kilt and a skirt. Yeah, I wouldn't say massive. Come on now. Although there is a difference, I wouldn't say it's massive. Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. All right, Jessie Banana, she says, you do you, but I think you're making too big of a deal out of hiking in a skirt. It's just a piece of clothing. And that's really true. I mean, when you're out on the trail, it's all about survival and making do with what you bring, making do with what you have to be comfortable and to have a good experience out there. You know, for other people that don't film all their trips and put it on the internet for the whole world to see, I mean, kilts, rain skirts, whatever, they're a great option, but I just don't, I don't know. I'm just not into it. I don't care. I'm not one, as you guys might know, I don't go buy all the new latest trends in backpacking gear and whatnot. I make do with what I have. A lot of the stuff I use, I've had for years. Yeah, I'm just, with the whole kilt skirt thing, it's just for fun. It's really just for entertainment. Miyagi on the trail. Do you guys know who Miyagi is?
No.
Bryce.newbold.
I don't know who that is.
Bryce, she doesn't know who you are.
Should I know who that is?
She don't know who you are, bro.
Ooh, I got that Miyagi on the trail look.
Miyagi?
You don't know him?
No, should I?
He don't know you, bro.
No.
Miyagi says, embrace the skirt, bro.
Carol Baskin.
convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snack it. Carol Baskin.
Oh, Carol Baskin did it! Alright, so that's it for the video. Just wanted to bring up some of these good points that I would have liked to talk about in my other video, but I didn't think of it at the time, so you get a 2-for-1 deal on this one. Kind of weird to put out like 2 videos on the same topic in a row, but whatever. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button for more videos in the future. Also, like I said in a couple videos back, I just started a Patreon account. I cannot believe the support I've received on there already. I mentioned before that I'm probably going to throw out some B-side or some blooper videos on there for you guys if I get enough people on there. Well, I definitely have more on there than I expected, so I'm working on a couple other videos. I made like a B-side video of my last trip. Also found like 3 or 4 videos of like kayaking, and like I made a little like stupid like drunken vlog of New Year's that I'm just gonna put up all these videos I've never put out on YouTube before. I just spit. So I'm gonna throw together some videos for all my Patreon supporters. Links down below if you're interested in supporting me on that. Just like $1 a month would be awesome. But leave a comment below, hit that like button. Thank you guys so much for watching this again, and I'll see you on the next one.
Carol Baskin. Killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snack it. What's happening? Carol Baskin. Killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snack it. What's happening? Carol Baskin.
The kilt truce triggered. Oh, where's my Miyagi? That's the one. We gotta do the Miyagi thing again, okay?